now beaming into Nerd FT Radio.
This is Nerd FT Radio, where nerds full-time explorers of the metaverse, surfers of the blockchain, and not in our mom's basement. Good Lord. I'm your host, RSG, aka Woodcutting Level 83. I'm getting there. And I'm here with Crypto Crier, aka the Slithering Crier. How are you?
Slithering around, dropping fools.
Dropping fools, slithering around Hogwarts, just doing your thing.
Hogging it.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, on my side, I'm the old school side. I'm playing a game that's like almost older than I am, pretty much, and I'm just cutting wood.
Hey,
that's all I'm doing.
There's some games that I
days.
go back and play like that. Pop in some EQ or something like that from the early '90s.
Oh yeah,
those are the good ones.
Those
are the good ones.
I'm just cutting some wood, man. I found out that there's actually a pet you can get randomly in the game that if you're just cutting wood, it just pops up and it's a beaver. That's actually pretty funny. He just pops up out of nowhere. But all right, let's get into it. We have awesome topics today. One of them, I thought maybe in the year 2025 or 26, 27, but shit, we're doing it already in 2023. And it pretty much looks like Opensea it's dying. It's going down. I really thought they had a grip on the NFT market side of things, and Blur's there. Crier, what are your thoughts on this? Again, the volume, as you can tell, is just crazy.
We just had the release of the Blur token, and on the wake of that, like coming out in the beginning before it came out, we had a lot of volume going through Blur. I'm pretty sure since the beginning of February, Blur has beat Opensea in volume every day since then. And now that they released the token, it's crushing them every day. Now it's 70% volume. They're getting like 18% of volume. They really flipped them pretty quickly. And the reason I think that is, obviously people like tokens, people like participating. That's you reward people who are loyal to you, and everyone that's been doing that forever. That's how Uniswap got its dominance. They gave everybody free tokens. Everyone's used them since then. And you build up that brand loyalty to somebody, but when you have something that's predatory, charging 2.5% rates, doesn't have any interest in supporting their community of people, and doesn't have none of the features are even better. It's actually worse because you can only shop Opensea. You can't shop Opensea, Looksware, X2Y2, every single marketplace through Blur or other aggregators like Gem or Genie, or actually Genie got bought by Uniswap. Essentially, they're dying out. You still have to go through their Opensea contract. If you're buying stuff on Blur, people will still be there, but over time, I think they're going to peter out, and that's because Web3 people can vote with their wallets way easier. They don't have your money in an account on Opensea, right? It's not like Coinbase, you have stored in there or something like that. Same thing with Dapper. That's why I don't like Dapper very much, because you get your Top Shot stuck in there, and then they have money in there. Then you have to withdraw. There's like a bunch of extra steps.
Yeah.
You just be like, I'm going to click MetaMask. I'm going to hit withdraw, and I don't even have to just disconnect my wallet. I don't have to ever go there again. Just choose not to open that website ever again. And you don't have to actually do any offboarding, really. That makes it where these go up really fast. They don't have that staying power anymore, or Wells Fargo, every time you added a bank account, they would continually add bank accounts and try to get you to sign up for new things. So whenever you left, it would be like a nightmare, and they literally got sued for this. So that's essentially what's been going on in Web 2. We have to overcome that, and now it's more, I don't have to do anything. I just don't ever go to that website again. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to call them. I don't have to go on customer service to get my money back. I don't have to do any of this stuff. So it makes the friction way easier. Opensea doesn't treat me well. I don't want to pay 5 times more in marketplace fees, and their product is not as good. So let's go somewhere new.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that somewhere new is like what we've been talking about the last at least month, 2 months, 3 months. It's been Blur. Everyone's been talking about it, using it. We said bad things about it. Now we're saying good things about it. That's where
I would say they're still pretty predatory, like Blur in general, because they're just making wash trades like left. Yeah. Everyone's just wash trading now. So their volume is practically pumped
we
up.
saw
but
this. We saw this with Looks Rare when everything was
Yeah.
going on. It was, and
Exactly,
that's where the
you know.
stat came from. Where what was
All
it?
the
52,
58%
48%
of
all NFT trades were
NFTs, all
wash
NFTs were wash trades, but it definitely spiked with all the new additions of X2Y2
Oh,
and all that stuff.
absolutely.
It's going to happen in the space, especially when you have some incentive to reward people who are wash trading realistically. But again, like, you know, that's on them. They're doing the wash trading. If you don't, I don't wash trade. You don't wash trade. The people who are participating and doing that are generally, I don't know, not in either the U.S. or don't care
Very
or what they're
wealthy.
doing, or degening it up a little bit, and
Very
they have big
wealthy as
stacks
well.
usually. But I think the idea of this is that they have made you go to the website all the time. It's that they got
Yeah.
you in a routine of going to it, and that's what the problem with Looks Rare did. They was like, here's a bunch of tokens, you should use us, instead of going, we're going to do season 1, season 2, season 3 airdrop, keep you strung along. You get extra bonus, get backs, and you get chests. Oh my goodness.
Well, listen, remember,
boxes, loot boxes.
because this space is so new, Blur was able to see what Looks Rare did wrong. Looks Rare was able to see what Opensea did wrong, and Blur, again, was able to see all of it as well. So they're making it in a way, and that's what we see. It's innovative ways, not even innovative, just different ways of doing things that are going to be successful, because others tried it, they weren't successful, and Blur has that opportunity to go in and try all the successful things out, have to avoid all the things that were wrong. Again, on the Opensea side, the crazy thing for me is that what they did with the royalties after everything that they talked about, how royalties are here to stay, all this and that, and they actually just came out and said, you know what, we're moving to optional royalties to fight Blur. So that's just like insane. I know you and I were always going to be on that same side of like 90% of what NFTs, like the technology behind it and like what it could do.
It helps
for
reward
everything
creators instead of the
is
middlemen.
the royalty. So that this side of it that's going on, I literally just don't like, because again, royalties is a big play for a lot of people. And when
now they're fighting over that. Now they're like, you're banned from using my stuff, and then Blur came back, found a way to loophole that, and then said, actually, you're banned from using our platform. So it's like a back and forth. It's ridiculous. Just a bunch of idiots. I don't understand. There's plenty of room for all these things to exist. People choose what they like. There's always going to be competition. And again, like, you're not going to get rid of OpenSea because everyone's still using. You can still use the OpenSea contract, and it is used a bunch in all of these aggregators. But until people stop listing there, I think it'll be like the Coinbase thing, where like, I've already been to OpenSea, and the most amount of users by far is still OpenSea.
Yeah,
they're just not buying stuff. They're buying small things.
Waiting.
The volume is all going through a Blur, because those are like the power users and like the people who are flipping and shit.
And they're going to be doing it.
And exactly. They get rewarded for doing it. It's just funny that they're just fighting over it. It's gonna be a long time of them.
You know the meme? Yeah, you know the meme where it's Squidward looking outside? That's Squidward is Coinbase, NFT Marketplace, Coinbase. And then Opensea, Looks Rare, all of them are just like hanging out outside. And it's just, what a shitty situation it should be for the NFT or Coinbase NFT Marketplace. Like, we thought that was going to be like the thing. And it was literally nothing. It was the worst fail.
ETH in volume total.
Yeah, it's like the worst fail apps. Like, it's crazy. But the other thing I did want to mention was that OpenSea sees Blur as an enemy, as a competitor in all of this. And because of that, like we said before, they moved to optional royalties. We already talked about that. But the other thing that we have not talked a little bit about was what they also did, or what they also said, excuse me. And what they said was they're going to find ways to explore. They're pretty much going to explore ways to reward its loyal users. So the speculation obviously is,
they're going to turn off the 2.5 collection fees.
I thought they did that for a little bit.
That's there. It's active right now.
Yeah, it's active.
No fees,
so you don't have to do it. And they're like, please come back over on our side. So we'll see. But I'm more interested. Put that all to the side. The degen in me, missing out on the Blur drop. By the way, I only got 59 Blur tokens. So I didn't make a lot of money there.
Ooch.
But what I wanted to say was, OpenSea, if you hear me now, come on the podcast, number one. But number two, give me that token. I'm trying to spend some money. But that's all I had to say.
Yeah, just begging OpenSea, like, poor
us. Please token.
We're down so bad.
We'll see. Listen, we're waiting for OpenSea, and we're waiting also for MetaMask. Where the heck is that token? So
Neither
we
of
just
those
have
are
to
ever coming.
it's
That's
never
my
gonna
thought
come back,
process.
right? Ever. But we'll see, hopefully.
See,
But the other thing I did want to mention that we got to talk about, and it's once again the segment of what big Web 2 companies coming into space. But this one, we already knew they were coming in. They already said that they want to go in. But the major thing that happened, which, by the way, the company is called YouTube. You know that thing where you watch videos all the time? Yeah, that company. Their CEO actually stepped down. And the person that stepped up into the role is actually a crypto bro by the
crypto
name.
bro.
A crypto bro by the name of, I already forgot his name, to be honest. It's Neil Mohan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes, Neil Mohan. And everyone outside of the Web3 space is pissed. I have to read these freaking comments to you, Crier. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up because you're going to laugh. Let me pull it up. If I can find it.
Yeah, I feel like the more times you make people mad, the least they're talking about it. There's no bad press, is my thought.
It's ridiculous, man. Everyone's like, there it goes. YouTube is now finally heading over to the bad side. It's gonna be awful. There's gonna be crypto scams all over the place. Blah 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 blah. I had someone else I was reading. I can't find it. I don't know where I had it, but someone mentioned, hey guys, don't worry. Remember, Reddit did this and it wasn't that bad. Everyone forgot about the NFTs after a little while. So don't worry, we'll be fine. And all of this. Again, it's just crazy to me that people don't see it. Obviously, it's changed. It's different. It's new. And that's what scares people. And when you think about crypto, if you're outside of the crypto space, if you think about NFTs and you're outside of the NFT space, the only news that you ever hear is the bad news.
Negative news.
Is generally negative news. So when that happens, obviously with the big news of this guy coming in to the spot of CEO and what he could bring to the table for us, we're like, dude, this is awesome. This is going to be so successful. They're going to play into things. It's going to be great. But on the other side, they're like, we don't want your monkey. We don't want your monkey NFTs, your pictures on our beautiful company page or anything. So what do you think about this? Let me ask you, Crier, with all the technology at hand, with the blockchain and with NFTs, contracts, everything like that, how do you see YouTube playing into all of this?
I would say probably something along the lines of like royalty or like brand loyalty, something like that. There's like the whole war with Twitch and YouTube gaming type platforms. Who's getting more royalties? What's the best? And as we go down this category, or not category, just the pathway that we're heading down currently, it's going to be the people who are getting royalties, are the individual influencer type person who gets all the views, stuff like that. These small percentage differences are going to be adding up quite a bit. I can see something you do along those lines with a loyalty brand NFT thing with content creators, maybe like a platform for content creators to launch their own tokens for social tokens, stuff like that. There's definitely a lot of things. They already have the whole bits thing on Twitch. Do they have anything, the same thing on YouTube gaming side?
I don't
like streaming?
think so. I don't know. I've never actually watched something on YouTube.
I could see something along those lines too. We've seen stuff like that, and I think we're heading that route of micropayments to people that you like and just skipping all the middlemen type thing. So we're already at that. We're not too far off from that stage, and I don't think people really care like when they don't know it's really there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. We saw that with Reddit. They clicked it, they claimed, oh, that's it, done. But look at it. I need to read this to you. So, looking forward to YouTube Web3, where there are no commercials, but you have to watch NFTs of monkey cartoons for 2 hours per day. That's one of the funnier ones. And the other one's like, shit, maybe we finally get a competitor, though. What was the other one? Are we even surprised there are so many fake billionaires created from the crypto scheme? Some of them are bound to find their way into higher places of power. Why do you think this is bad? This just gives creators more tools in their arsenal to interact with their audience more personally, reward their most dedicated fans, and monetize their content more beyond ad revenue. That's a nice one. That's a great one. We should focus on that one. But the other one that I wanted to say was, looks like the new YouTube CEO may be a crypto bro. This could add to the scams that YouTube already sees if it implements crypto onto the platform.
Nice. Yeah. The average person got scammed recently. FTX people, that was one of the most used.
5 steps
small
forward,
accounts,
20 steps.
It's not. There's a lot of negative sentiment, and that's portrayed. And this will be that way for a while and stuff like that. And when it becomes not really about the scams that are actually not through blockchain and more so like on the centralized exchange side, which is usually the way it happens most of the time, unless there's like an exploit, which is also that will beef up security and stuff like that. But I definitely think that the farther we progress, the more likely it is. The easier it becomes, the better the UI becomes. Just it's a better experience overall. I think it's a good move. They always, again, like we've seen so many companies pick CEOs that are pretty deep into crypto. I think that's something that shows you that a lot of people are leaning this direction or see the value of at least just blockchain in general. You know what I mean? It's doesn't have to be specific, someone specific. There is benefits, but it'll just take a long time to educate the people.
The patience. And that's what we're doing here at Nerd FT Radio, presented by NRN. And that's what we're doing at NRN as well with all the content that we're making. But the one last thing I did want to talk about,
came over a little bit there.
Yeah, Dr. Cryer came in there for a second. But the one thing I did want to mention was when he was chief product officer at YouTube, he was the one that wanted to integrate NFTs to give creators of the platform more opportunities to earn. We see this what's happening with Twitter as well, where Elon wants to bring more creators to Twitter by sharing that revenue, by sharing revenue, because that's what's going on. Absolutely.
Or making it easier. Like you don't have to have It's just micropayments. If you have a tweet that goes viral, you're going to get a little payment, you know.
Yep. It makes sense. You want the best of the best. Listen, even if it's 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 100,000, that tweet that went viral, that generated Twitter millions of dollars.
Oh yeah,
that
for them,
20, 30, 40, 50,000, whatever even if it's $100, just put it like that. That's so small, and that's all it takes to have your creators come to your platform and be happy with your platform instead of going to a competitor where they're not getting that. So we're in the era, and I really do think it's from the NFT side of things. We're in the era of seeing more share revenue on the sense of the audience, as well as the creators, as well as just overall. It's not one industry or one company just collecting 99.9999%. Now we're seeing it a little bit different. That's what's so great about everything that we've seen since I started this we started this podcast together.
For sure. And it's like when we talked with Minsky, and he was like big into the whole scene and knew all the stuff for streaming and stuff like that, for the founder of Gaming Ape Club or whatever. That's the route people are going. It's just there's so many competing platforms now. It's not a monopoly on Twitch anymore. So now you're able to get views on a bunch of different things, monetize them better, possibly depending on your demographic and stuff like that. And it makes a big difference, and it's become like one of the largest industries. Realistic games have probably one of the most exponential growth sectors, especially in like the esports side. Some of the esports players make more than like most professional athletes, like the top ones. Like,
by the way, one upcoming product or something that's upcoming that I saw and we've laughed about before, pickleball. By the way, I just wanted, this is really off topic, but I was just like changing through. Yeah, it's great. This is what happened. I was just changing the channel on YouTube TV, and I don't know, we're on ESPN. It was pickleball. I'm like, wait a minute, no way. So I started watching it, and it's, this is dope. But the really funny thing, again, very off topic, but I had to say something. The funny thing about the end, I watched like a full match, and at the end of the match, they're doing like sponsors and whatnot. And they showed like the upcoming tournaments, and it said, don't forget to go and sign up for these tournaments. I'm like, I've never in my entire life heard a sports league straight up just tell the audience of them listening to their sports league, like, hey, go sign up. It was just super. Yeah, go sign up for the NBA, go sign up for the MLB tryouts, or this time. I've just never
Invincible or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. I've never seen. It was just funny to me, and I had to mention it to you because I know you love this. You played tennis growing up, right?
Yeah, I'm a big tennis guy.
Yeah, you're a big tennis, so obviously
tennis. I like tennis, ping pong, pickleball. Yeah, they're all great. Anything with the paddle and a ball, we'll whack it.
Yeah, you're gonna whack them, except baseball. It's not a racket.
I like baseball. So it's not a racket, but yeah, I do. I like the act of playing baseball. I don't like watching baseball.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not a watcher. I actually do like live games. I just don't like
live. Is phenomenal. It's
it's just a good atmosphere.
I love it. Yeah, I agree. It feels like an event that you're going to, instead of just a game, but you can do a bunch of stuff. But let's nerd out a little bit, Cryer. I know you did half of your You did half of your homework. You watched episode 5 of The Last of Us. We'll talk about that in a second. I did the other half of our homework, and it was to go see Ant-Man and Wasp into the Quantumania, or whatever you want to call it, Ant-Man 3. And Kang just stole the show. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to ruin anything.
Been saying that forever.
Yeah, Kang stole the frick. Yeah, Kang stole the show. Unbelievable. This actor is phenomenal. He's about to be in another movie, Creed 3, that's coming out very shortly. But this movie, it felt messy. It wasn't bad. I wouldn't say I'd say like a 7.1 out of 10. I'd rank it as the 19th movie in the MCU. I got my list opened up. I'll tell you exactly.
7.162.
7.1. But it is here. Let me pull it up really quick. It is worse than the first Black Panther, but it's better than Thor: Love and Thunder. So that's where it's at right now.
I love Thunder.
So I think this one was better than Love and Thunder. So we'll see what you think on that end.
I'm
but
excited.
I will say,
and Ant-Man's one of my favorites. So
Ant-Man 1 is an incredible movie. So that I'll say as well, it wasn't better than the first one. A lot of people on the internet have been saying that it's better. It's the best one. I don't think so. The audience score is like in the 70s, maybe low 80s, but this is the worst, like rotten. It has the lowest score on the critic side of any Marvel movie ever. So,
wow.
Yeah, on the MCU side, like obviously we're not talking about Fantastic Four movie with Michael B. Jordan and the other guys. They had such a great cast, but that movie was atrocious. But the movie is messy. It feels rushed. The action, though, and the scenery, the being in the quantum realm, insane. Realm. And the thing that we talked about before, you and I have talked, it truly did feel like a Star Wars movie. The characters and the creatures and all these different like species and races of all, it was just insane. It was literally a Star Wars movie. It was a Star. It felt like a Star Wars movie. Super awesome. And remember, there is 2 post-credit scenes. So there's a mid and an end, and the mid is nuts. And the last one is insane. Both of them phenomenal. Probably the best thing in the whole movie was the post credit and the end or the mid credit or whatever. But you got to go watch. I know you're going on Tuesday. You told me that.
Yes, sir.
So we'll talk a little bit about it later on. But Crier, we got to talk about the greatest episode of TV ever in the history of the television, the modern television. Crier, that episode 5 of The Last of Us.
It was very good.
Wow.
I wouldn't go the best TV show.
Tell me what episode was better than that. Give me a show that had a better episode.
I would say the end of Breaking Bad is probably one of my all-time favorites.
I'm going to say something. A lot of people are going to be pissed about this. I
don't like Breaking Bad.
I don't like Breaking Bad, man. It's a great show, but like everyone has it in their top 5. So well. I have it in like my I'd rather watch a lot more. I don't know. That wasn't really into it that much.
I still think Westworld is better. I love Westworld season 1. That shit was fucking awesome.
I
love this. They've done an incredible job. Like, I'm definitely not dogging that, but not best ever. But
that's the best episode of TV I've ever seen. What's up there for me? The Red Wedding, Game of Thrones, the Battle of the Bastards, Game of Thrones. I don't remember the episode, but it was one episode in Sons of Anarchy. You ever watched them?
Yeah, I never finished Sons of Anarchy. I thought until like season 4.
Do I have Jax Teller Funko around here? I think it's at my parents' house. But there's an episode that it's not a wedding. It was actually a funeral, and at the end of the funeral, just shit goes down. That episode just sticks in my head. There's another one. Did you ever watch Gotham?
No, I watched
there's an episode. There's an episode of Gotham that was just stuck with me as well. It was when Penguin just had an RPG and all the villains came out of nowhere. It was phenomenal. That's that one. And then Westworld. What episode of Westworld that just blew my mind? I think is when we found out
you find out that Bernard was not.
Yes. Yep. That's another one. I'm like, what the hell just happened? That's another one. But I'll personally say again, and I'm putting my stamp of approval. This episode was my favorite episode of any show I've ever seen. And the crazy thing of it all was all the emotions that you felt watching this episode. You got happy, you got sad, you got anger, you got
roller coaster.
It was literally just a roller coaster. And the end of that episode, I would just look at Carolina while she was sobbing. I was crying too. And I'm just looking, I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, that was fucking terrible.
That was so insane. And the one thing I did want to mention, are you watching at the end of Game of Thrones as well as The Last of Us, even Westworld as well? The behind the scene, sure. That was so awesome to see how the guy that created the game is so heavily involved. And when he mentioned that the producer and him were talking and said, hey, what if we make this character Death? And then the guy that created the game was like, how the hell did I not think about that? That was such a smart move. He's like, damn. But like, I love that.
Okay.
Like, I love the
Yeah,
whole
that's good.
back end of it. I'm literally like seconds away from buying a PlayStation just to play this freaking game.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Like, it's crazy.
On
But yeah,
PC or no?
yeah. But like, you see that little spot over there? Oh no, you see that spot where that helmet is right there?
Yeah.
That's going to be going somewhere. The helmet's going somewhere else. So I'm just going to have an empty spot. So imagine if I just put a PlayStation there, a $500 PlayStation, just so it
Yeah,
looks
there you go.
nice.
You got
That's
some
pretty
blur.
much what I'm
You got your
trying.
$59 for the blur.
Yeah, that'll help me.
That'll
That'll help me pay a little bit of it.
What'd you
I
sell it
haven't
at?
even
Or you still
claimed
got
it.
it?
I haven't claimed it.
Oh,
It's
it's
just
gonna
there.
rip, bro.
Hey, listen, get to $10 and I'll claim. I promise I'll claim that. $500, I got it. But yeah, no, that pretty much wraps it up for the nerd side of things. Cry, you got anything else? Hey, let me ask you, how's Hogwarts? Your AK was that? Like, what's going
Hogging
on
it
right
up.
now?
No, it's great. Game's phenomenal, and
Good.
there's a bunch of new mods. First of all, I'm just like an evil wizard. I always go evil the first playthrough. I feel like for any game, it's you have to, man. Just wreak
Why?
havoc.
You
I don't
just kill it. Are you killing everyone?
I will be soon. I haven't gotten my
Oh,
death
yeah,
spell yet.
Is it actually just called a death spell, or what's
It's
actual
the
spell?
Ave Cavadadra or whatever.
Okay.
Cavadra or something like that. Ave
Okay.
Cavadra. But yeah, I haven't gotten that yet. I've gotten like the first one that's you can torture people or you can do the mind control, Imperio, and Curcio. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. Like it's such a good game. It's Skyrim. It's single player only, so that's the only downside. I wish it was multiplayer. It'd be such a fucking good multiplayer game. Even if it was like just co-op story or something like that, it'd still be awesome. But the cinematic is incredible. It reminds me of like Mass Effect quality. I love the choices. You can choose to be good, choose to be bad. It's not like super deep on that side, but they're the only complaint that I've ever seen or that I thought would be such a really cool addition was the game Bully. It was like a Rockstar game.
I know Bully. I've never
like
played
some
it,
of
but I
that
always
kind of
wanted
stuff
to.
with the like the loyalty type systems or like did you ever play that game or
I never played it, but I always wanted to.
They had a really good like system inside how the school worked, and I've heard of people that would fit so well here. It was a missed opportunity, but everything else has been just absolutely phenomenal. It's like really in depth, like spell making. You have to learn all these spells all the time, and you have to learn like potions and herbs and gather all these things.
Let me ask you on the spell side, do you have to click X, Y, like multiple things to do the spell? Do you have to memorize the spells? I think that'd be dope.
It's like that because they make it so you can only you have 4 spell bars and each spell bar has only 4 spells. So you have to like if you want to keep up rotations of switching, it's like you have all your 4 spells. So maybe you'll levitate somebody and then hit him with a fireball, and then you'll pull them towards you, and then you'll blow a inferno ring of fire or whatever around them or something like that, and then you can switch to your next set of bars. So it's like F1, F2, F3, F4, and I think it's like triggers on the controller. And then you have a new set of spells to cast. Okay. So on that side, it doesn't seem super easy. If you put on the very hard mode, it is really hard. Like the next playthrough, I can definitely tell I'm going to be struggling because I've already died a couple times, and it's you can get overwhelmed with enemies pretty quickly. You have to do a lot of like perfect dodge or like perfect blocking or whatever. And some of the bosses have that pattern that they're attacking with, something that you have to like on the Elden, like that Star Wars game. Remember the Star Wars game? The
Force Awaken. No, that's the movie.
That was the
Fallen Order.
Yeah, that where the bosses weren't like insanely difficult, but they were like really challenging. Like you might die like up to once
when we fought Vader at the end. I definitely had to put it down in a little
tappy tap.
Yeah, a little tap of I couldn't beat that. I just couldn't beat Vader. It was so annoying.
Even probably a little bit easier than that, but again, like all the mechanics are really good. And most of the time, when you have like spells in games, I feel like they're not fun. There's like spell casting versus going in with a sword. I feel like usually the sword combat is usually a bit more clean or a little bit nicer. Feels a little bit easier, a little bit better. And then like spell casting is cooldown, hit him for the spell, and then you have an 8-second cooldown and wait, and then you hit him with another spell while you're attacking with your sword. And this one is just you have to, if you want to do well and not get hit, you have to put in a lot of combos and there's cooldowns you got to worry about for all your spells and stuff like that. So they do really good combat.
Okay. Yeah, that's something I'm probably going to end up getting it very soon. The other game, by the way, I just can't wait, and I just have to talk to you about it because I know you're a massive fan of this, is the new Zelda. I'm not going to see outside. Like
Zelda's awesome. And again, there's a little bit of that too in this one because there's a lot of puzzles and stuff like that. Also,
Okay.
I'm a big it's got a really good mix of everything.
I like that.
I'm really happy. But yeah, Zelda's fucking incredible. Breath of the Wild was such a good game, and I think
That's
this
a
one's
top
gonna
5 for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
love Breath of the Wild. Yeah, it was just unbelievable. But the other thing I did want to also mention before we go, were you ever a big Metroid fan?
I played a lot of the older ones for sure. I think the
They
Wii
just
one, I think,
remastered
was
it. They just remastered one of the old ones, and it's actually
nice.
on Switch now. You're able to buy it on the store. But again, everyone's waiting for that Metroid. I think it's 5. I think we just got 4. Now we're getting 5. So just waiting on that side.
I think I played one on the Wii a lot. I remember the one that
Okay.
they had one of the that was really good, but I wasn't like really into that one a lot.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
there's definitely some good shit coming out soon.
There's some awesome games coming out. And the last thing I did want to mention, this is a shout out to my friend Enrique, Holly, and my girlfriend Carolina. I would just whoop their asses in Mario Party. So I just had to just say that right here live on the podcast. You're welcome for showing you how to play the game the right way.
Yeah. The thing was, we were doing our favorite games of the year at the beginning of the year. Hogwarts wasn't even on my radar at all. And I was like, it's going to be like shitty.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's probably not going to be good.
It's going to be questionable. Yeah.
So that's awesome when we get that. So we got, oh my God, I can't wait for all these games that are coming out. I finally have some time to start playing some of them except RuneScape. I'm just AFKing the hell out of this. I'm still going right now, just chopping some wood. But that pretty much wraps it up for us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Nerd FT Radio. And we'll catch you later this week with some more nerd stuff. Peace.
Nerd it up later. Peace.